Eric, when you told me last week that NeRF was all over SIGGRAPH, I went online and I looked at what weapon I'd pick, and I think I'd pick the Roblox NeRF blaster. It looks amazing, it shoots darts, but then I realized there's NeRF water balls. How did they deal with NeRF water balls on the show floor with all this high-tech equipment?
Well,
it must have been chaos. Were people wearing safety glasses at all?
Well, you are correct. NeRF was all over SIGGRAPH 2023, but not the NeRF you were thinking of. It was actually neural radiance fields.
Oh, that's so confusing. They got to change that. I think I need to cancel my NeRF order because I was preparing for next year's event. Thanks for letting me know now.
Yeah, it's a different type of NeRF, but you'll still have a blast. Let's start the podcast.
Welcome to the Volumetric Roundtable, where we discuss the latest happenings in the world of volumetric. I'm Eric Azaris, Head of Product Development at Dengenuity Labs. I'm here with Denny Breitenfeld, founder of Dengenuity Labs, and today we're going to talk about the exciting volumetric talks and exhibitions that were at SIGGRAPH 2023. As many of you know, SIGGRAPH is the premier 3D graphics conference, and there were dozens of talks and demonstrations related to volumetric, and many of the members of the VFA were there. So let's highlight them in a segment we like to call the VFA Corner.
So Eric, for the VFA Corner, who was there? What were they showing off?
Well, for starters, Zeiss was there, and they were showing off their new SIGGRAPH scenario. They're calling it their Anywhere, Anytime camera tracking solution. Tony was there. You remember Tony from one of our previous podcasts talking about lens data. And what was really neat about it was it's built on NCAM's tracking technology, and it's perfect for virtual production and live compositing. And it can be used indoors and outdoors. So it was really exciting seeing that new tech from Zeiss. Arcturus was there. Oh, they were all over the show floor. They were giving demos at the Dell booth. Piot was there giving demonstrations. And Devin gave a great talk at the Autodesk stage about volumetric video editing and streaming technology. Oh, and of course, Arcturus made a big announcement last week. Did you hear about it?
Yeah, so what's really exciting is that Arcturus is now the front of the mixed reality technology behind some of the licensed stages. And there's a lot that they can do by incorporating some of that technology into their tools, improve the pipeline, continue to make the workflow easier and better. I know they're just getting started, and it's a win-win for the entire industry. Congratulations to everybody who made it happen. It really does help the industry.
SIGGRAPH was very exciting, a lot of attendees, and Denny, so I've got a pop quiz for you. I'd like you to guess what the top 3 most popular talks were for the people that were accessing the summit virtually.
Well, I know it wasn't NeRF guns, so then the first...
Well, hold on, you might be halfway right, actually.
Halfway there? If I had to guess, I would probably say something with AI as in the top 3. Mm-hmm. NeRF would be up there as well. And the third thing, I'm going to go with NeRF guns as the third thing.
Okay, NeRF guns. Okay, so according to the website data, the number one most popular talk via virtual access and mobile access was stylized rendering techniques. And that was a talk about the VFX pipeline. They talked specifically about Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, not unexpected given it's SIGGRAPH and they're always on the cutting edge of the latest happenings in graphics technology. So that was number 1. Coming in at number 2 was practical proceduralism in production. Now, for this talk, the Disney animators broke down their workflow for creating the dog in an animated movie called The Strange World. Have you seen that one?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I really liked it.
It was really cool how they broke down just the way they made the fur.
The fur.
Yeah, exactly.
It looks really good.
Yeah.
They even have a short with one of these alien creatures and the dog.
Oh, wow. Okay. Very cool. Coming at number 3 was
NeRF guns.
Neural fields for visual computing. Yes. So it wasn't the NeRF guns. It wasn't the styrofoam projectiles. It was about neural radiance fields. And I was actually there in person. And let me tell you, it was a packed house. Wall to wall of people just listening and learning about NeRF and volumetric. the student volunteers had to tell people, hey, you got to stand up. It's a fire hazard. Just upshoot an interest for
Amazing.
that. So it was great to hear that in person and virtually, people were tuning in and wanting to learn about NeRFs and volumetric.
It's the future.
So Danny, I was there at SIGGRAPH, and let me tell you, it was like going to Disney World. It was like Epcot Center, World of Tomorrow. Have you ever been to that?
Yeah.
It was like Epcot Center, but if they were to update it like every year and not just like the 1960s vision of what 2000 looks like with the flying cars. But we're getting close. We're getting really close.
We're getting really close. Yeah.
And what's amazing is that this time last year, there was a paper on instant NeRF, and it actually won the best paper award for SIGGRAPH 2022.
Yeah.
So even back then, we already knew it was going to become something special. Now, flash forward 1 year to 2023, and it just became a gigantic topic.
It's amazing. And what it is it's a testament of when you really sort of something software based and you marry it with the hardware. We saw this with H.264. We saw with MPEG-2, where both of those video codecs were very, very slow, nowhere near real time to either create your video file in MPEG-2 or create your video file in H.264. As soon as the code was ported over to a piece of silicon, it changed everything. Now H.264 for video streaming is a dime a dozen because it's built into a chip on your phone. It's built into, say, a Google Chrome stick or an Amazon Fire Stick. The decoding is now on that chip instead of software based. And look what happened with radiance fields. It was ported over so that it was designed to be run on NVIDIA's chipset. That then made it practical enough that the wait times was still worth the end result. And because of that, we have a whole new potential market that did not exist. And all it took was mirroring software and algorithms and things of that nature with hardware. And I hope that we see more of that with what the VFA is doing when it comes to compression and playback and cameras into processing. That's the whole point of this, is to marry good technology with other good technology in the form of software and hardware, or camera and hardware.
In fact, NVIDIA's keynote, they were really leaning into the idea of democratizing technology. He said himself that anybody can do this. They've really been trying to democratize, enabling people to do AI training, rendering 3D graphics, and even advancing their Omniverse 3D platform, and of course, NeRF. So it's becoming more and more accessible, getting into the hands of more people and more creators. So it's really an exciting time to seeing this proliferate because of the marrying of the two worlds of hardware and software.
So other topics, VFX was big. Weta and Unity showcased their tools for 3D creation, simulation, and rendering for gaming and film. There were also some companies demonstrating their virtual production and motion capture hardware solutions. Now, regarding NeRF, I remember there was that one course I mentioned earlier, the one overflowing with attendees.
Yeah.
Now, in addition to that, there were also various NeRF papers and posters showcasing academic research dedicated to improving certain aspects of NeRF, such as speed and quality.
Yeah.
There were also scheduled talks at the HP Pavilion. Companies such as Luma and Valinga gave presentations about NeRF, what it is, why it's important, and how it can be used today. So it was great seeing educational sessions so people across different industries can learn about how volumetric can fit into their production workflow. And the topic of NeRF and volumetric popped up in a lot of different talks. There was this one panel about demystifying virtual production, and NeRF came up as a possible solution for virtual environments. In the Emerging Technologies Hall, NVIDIA showcased an experimental concept for three-way volumetric teleconferencing, and that involved volumetric on 3D displays. Even Shutterstock, they announced that they wanted to start building a library of downloadable AI and volumetric assets. So, a very exciting time for NeRF and volumetric.
So, Eric, it seems like the show floor was 3/4 of what was happening that week. There was a lot more going on outside of the show floor that was sort of connected to the companies that were at the show floor. How did you break it all down and where did you start? What did you see?
Outside of SIGGRAPH, there was a lot of industry meetups, parties, and networking events. There were two that stood out to me. First was the unveiling of a NeRF art exhibit in downtown LA. So imagine an art gallery, but instead of paintings hanging on the walls, there were computer monitors showcasing NeRF art projects. There was a good mix of experimental art, NeRF combined with VFX, and even some music videos based on NeRF.
Very cool.
I actually recognize some of the artwork because I've seen them pop up on my Twitter and LinkedIn feeds. So it was a great showcase of how directors and content producers are using volumetric tools to create new art. There was even a NeRF panel from content creators and developers, so audience members were able to ask them about their creative process and pick their brains on what they think is the future of the technology. The second event was the VFA NeRF Summit. Here, volumetric companies came together at KinoFlow Studios in Burbank. We all demoed our latest projects and had great technical and creative discussions about NeRF and volumetric. And I tell you, it's always great getting people in the same room to geek out and share ideas. So it was a great time between the meetups, summits, and SIGGRAPH. It was a fun and educational week, and lots to look forward to in the future.
Eric, I tell you, hearing that NeRF was the top 3 topic and it's not related to those guns is really, really exciting. It means that the ecosystem is growing. Eric, what an amazing week around volumetric, around NeRF. The ecosystem is growing. More and more people are getting excited about it. It's a great time for anybody who wants to join the VFA to join because we're really at the cutting edge here. Thank you, Eric, for summarizing everything. And I'm looking forward to the next event that's happening, and that is IBC in September. Thanks, Eric.
To learn more about the Volumetric Format Association, go to volumetricformat.org/join. Here you can learn about what we're doing to promote interoperability, establish best practices and standards, and how we're trying to grow a global community. It's free to join the community tier, so come on by, this could be the right place for you. This has been the Volumetric Roundtable podcast. My name is Eric Azares. Thank you for listening.